Hey everybody, so in this video I'm going to tell you how I built a Pea Sheller, as the title suggests. So I am filming this intro to it post build, and so since I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you a couple things about the build before you watch the video of me putting it together. The first thing that I'm going to let you know is that I really had no specific plan on how I was going to build it. I had the general idea of what I wanted to do and how to do it, but I didn't have any real specifics. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to need a 3-inch bolt for this. I made it, and what I needed I would go find around the house and use it. So as you'll notice throughout the video, it kind of morphs throughout it. As I said, oh, that's not going to work, I need to do this differently. And so that's just the way I build it, and I hope it's not too confusing. Shouldn't be. The second thing to note is that, unfortunately, some of the video got corrupted. It's a couple minor things through the build. It's nothing too major through it, so it's not going to completely throw you off that that little bit of video is missing. And after you've seen the build video, I'm going to put a little exit on there and going over more of the specifics of it. So I hope you guys are able to follow it all right, and enjoy. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and I decided that I need to make a couple little modifications to it. Originally I was hoping that I would only have to have the one roller spinning, but I did a few tests with a couple pea pods that were just starting to get right, and it won't pull it in. I would have to get the other one spinning there too for it to pull the pea pod through the rollers. What I think I'm going to try doing now is to take these two pins out right here and then put these two bolts on that still have the heads on them in place of those. And what the idea is with that is that I'm going to attempt to make a couple small plastic gears from the plastic of an old cat litter pail that the cat litter came in, and see if I can't make some gears that'll work, and then hook them onto the bolt heads here. So we'll give that a try and see what happens. Yes. So here is our finished product, and let's see if this thing works. Okay, so it's got a little bit of a wobble to it, but it's not too bad. I'm not gonna worry about it. So I think all in all it came out pretty well, and as soon as we've got some peas ready, I'll run some through that and see how it works. So that is the build. I hope you guys aren't too confused after watching that. Like I said, I got the main points in the video. There was a couple little things that got left out because the video got corrupted. Everything that I used in this build I had around the house. Now, I realize some of you may not have 1 1/4 inch dowels laying around, but I did happen to have that. Otherwise, I would have had to buy that. But everything else was around the house. One thing to note that wasn't in the video was I just put a guard around the gears. And you can see the gears down in there. Now, I'm not doing this for the benefit of all the safety sallies out there. I am doing this because I might have caught my thumb in the gears and it did not feel good at all. So just put something around the gears so that you can't do that. And just do it, okay? Put something around there. It doesn't have to be much. As you can see, this is just a part of a Coke can that I just stapled right on there. And if I should ever need to get in there and replace a gear or something, I can just easily pull those staples right out of there and get into it. Now, as you'll notice in the build video, there was a couple different variations of what I had for pins on this side. It started out with these guys, which were in there like that. There was nothing sticking out on the end. Then once I realized I had to put gears on there to have both of them driving, I said, oh, okay, I'll use these guys right here and put my gears on that. Well, I wasn't really thinking at the time because that is smooth right there and there wasn't really any way to hook the gears onto it. So I ended up using about a 3-inch long bolt that is fully threaded from the end all the way up to the head. And that way I could put the gears all the way on and the head would be on one side and I could thread a nut against on the other and tighten those down to hold them in place. Another thing not shown in the video is that I put a couple washers in there for spacer just to hold the rollers in place, keep them from shifting side to side and making the gears get off track. But that could be remedied by just having your side pieces here tight enough so that they can't move, but that's an easy fix to filling up the space in there. Now, you'll notice that the only roller with these grooves that I cut into it is on the bottom. That was because, like I said, originally I was thinking I would only have one drive roller, and this one would just kind of spin when the pea pod went through. And when I did end up having both of them so that they were spinning, I didn't put any grooves on the upper roller because it seems to be working all right without having the grooves in that one. It seems to pull them through just fine. I'll know better when we get into the full swing of potting peas. At the time of this video, they're just barely starting to come on, so in a short time here, we'll be going full force potting peas, and hopefully this thing will be working just fine. So maybe if there were grooves on there, it might work better. I don't know. That's something I'll have to experiment with. And for all I know, you might not even need the grooves at all. It just seemed like a good thing to put on, so I did it. Like I said, I didn't really have any specific plan, but that just seemed like a good thing. And come on, it kind of looks cool, so I put them on there. Why not? So when I was experimenting with it a little bit with a few pea pods that were ready, I found that when it pulls those things through, the peas go flying all over the place. Either I'm going to have to put some sort of a shield around that to keep them from going all over, or I'll put it in like a Rubbermaid container, and that way when they come flying out, they'll just hit the walls of the container and they'll all stay within that. One or the other another thing I'll have to mess around with and see what works best. And so if you guys make something like this, you can experiment with that too, and if you want, let me know. If you have any questions, something I didn't remember to go over, I think I've covered everything, but if I did forget something, leave your questions in the comments and I will try to give a very speedy response to those. If you have any comments, put those down there too. I'd appreciate a like. That gives me feedback and lets me know what you guys like, what you don't like. I guess that's about it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys later.